Hello, everyone, and welcome to the last session of the Blue Room. This is the Calesi Pattern with Holger and Daniel. I hope you enjoy it.
Yep. Okay, so this is a session that was actually given to somebody else, and then I saw some mails from Holger with some stuff like Node-RED and other things we see in here. And so we decided to give it to Holger instead. Yeah, and part of it is Calesi. You have heard Calesi. CAP. Calesi stands for CAP Level Service Integration. And among a lot of other things, what we see here is an application of that pattern to make something foreign to CAP look as if it would be CAP, as if it would be a CAP service, and consume it as if it is ideally a local CAP service. Done criteria of the Calesi pattern as a best practice would also be that it works locally. So let's see how this turned out in your case and not stealing too much time.
Thanks, Daniel. Hello, everybody. Today I want to show you, my name is Holger Schäfer from New York, and I want to show you something we did early this year. And it's about, we had a customer request, and a little asked, how can we integrate operational technology? It was also quite new for me to see, and then to think about, okay, but we know CAP, we know Fiori and all the stuff. So we have this information technology layer. We had this user interface technology layer, but something was missing a little bit, the operational technology layer. So, and coming with the specific stuff, like adding machines, IoT stuff, and all these things, such solutions generally run on the edge, on a customer system, like on-premise. And I was thinking about, okay, what about having a small stack where you can combine the best of all the stuff? Connect or low-code, Node-RED itself is an open source project coming from IBM. It was open source, I think, in 2013 so far, and comes with a low-code scenario where you can use thousands of predefined packages and flows and all this stuff. And it makes it quite easy to be used in this case. So let's start, have a look at this. So what yesterday I've seen shown a Scanify solution that was based on this technology stack. And what you will get is, instead of all the known stuff like our portal, using a portal combined with CAP and all this stuff you know so far, coming with Node-RED, there's a flow editor where you have on the left side, it's also done in Node.js. So, and it's also nicely integratable. So we created a Udina Fusion plugin using the Calesi pattern that integrates this Node-RED tool natively into the CAP service. You can see it, that the CAP itself is running at 4004, and Node-RED, also the editor, everything else is using this the same stack like CAP and adding some additional functionality on top. So what is quite nice with this, so you can design additional flows, have a lot of nodes on the left side. So that's saying like my Zebra data wedge stuff from the call yesterday, I need the TCP server running locally. I need some transformations with some kind of WebSocket out, and you can put it side by side. So using this, we were able to easily make it possible to use some navigation stuff, just sending this data to the TCP IP stack and using some shell extensions. And now we have the possibility to connect everything and to control it completely from the Node-RED side on the testing purposes. But how it behaves together with CAP. So we can say, or see in this example, I created a temperature simulation stuff. You can see there's, for example, a trigger to showcase this, that you will have triggered every 5 seconds. You will do some scripting. So you will have this example random degree from 20 to 30 degrees. And then you can say, okay, I want to have this going to the MQTT. Node-RED is coming with an automatically address broker, so with MQTT out. And the nice stuff about CAP in this case is that's it. So you will get every 5 seconds, we will get a new temperature. And inside your service, the nice stuff about the Calesi pattern stuff, you can create your own annotations, and you can define some events. So in this case, the name matching the topic name from Node-RED example. And just by doing this, then you can just say, okay, I have this on my temperature. I need this kind of data. And in the console, you will see that it's just logging every 5 seconds. You will have this kind of data. The other way around, if we trigger something from CAP side to the S/4HANA public cloud system so far, you will see you can create, for example, some functions. And then you can easily be able to just tell, okay, this or notify, I will just catch this fusion service and can do some emit with any kind of payload. And then on the Node-RED side, it's automatically bridged under the hood so that you have a transformation between these two kind of worlds. So on the other side, having a look again at the picture. So what we nicely have is now we have all these 3 segments. We can do everything. We can do asynchronous stuff between Node-RED and ABAP CAP using the bridge with MQTT. We have the standard like OData for all the synchronized stuff that needs to be used. We have the layer for the launchpad, and the launchpad itself is connected just with a bridge using WebSockets. And this small shell extension, showed this yesterday also in the call, is then bridging all this stuff to a service in UI5 called Event Bus. So at the end, we have a completely bridge from CAP to Node-RED to UI to all your custom apps that are handling this stuff the way you would need this. Also quite nice, you can just here organize your payloads and say, okay, this besides MQTT, I will also push this to the WebSocket with this topic. You can say, okay, please also transform this kind here as an application or Microsoft card, adaptive cards, so that you can just bring it to Microsoft Teams so that you have nicely formatted stuff on top. Node-RED itself comes with a nice dashboard, so you can have some kind of gauges in this case and say, okay, I also want to use the out-of-the-box dashboard here, and just by adding this as a node to your dashboard, you will see a lively socket-driven dashboard, which is directly reflecting all the temperature data, sensor data, everything you have so far. So I thought also have a look at this. So what, but we also did, okay, right now you can also add your custom implementations. In this case, we also said, okay, how does it look maybe with UI5? In this case, we added some using Fusion integration cards, and then they are also connected lively with the asynchronized service from the other upcoming data. And even if you want, you can create your own package like they did here with this add-on for dashboards, so that you have this kind of, it would be also possible to create your own package with your own nodes so that you can put everything like coming with adaptive card even to Node-RED if you want and do not want to use the out-of-the-box dashboard coming from the stuff itself. What is also interesting, so if you start working with this stuff, you can see here it's the integration from the settings side. There's something called Manage Palette. As I said, there are thousands of existing stuff. So if you have to control palette scanners or whatever, you can say I'm searching for Siemens S7 PLC or whatever. And then you can install this stuff directly to your system. And even all this node stuff, if you change something, you can easily deploy it. How does it look like in the system so far? The nice stuff, it's handled just to have a .node-RED folder side by side to your general CAP stack. All this flow stuff is at the end is just a JSON file that contains all this information. So if you deploy something, you will just update the flows JSON file. And even if you install new packages, you do not waste a little bit your CAP stuff. So it's completely decoupled with this Node-RED stuff all the stuff you need and add it to your node stuff. It will be completely part of the Node-RED stack. But then that CAP itself is used as a plugin. It can be the core functionality would be easily integrated, something like this, so that you'll be on your plugin file. You have this on listening and can say, okay, how should you handle this? You can merge a little bit the authentication strategies of both tools if you want, and can then just add the corresponding router things so that this stuff will be also handled directly from CAP itself. And that shows even, because Node-RED is open source, that shows the power and the flexibility of this kind of plugins so that you can simply just add other services. And in this case, it was quite easy and quite less effort to add this kind of layer directly to CAP. So in our scenario, what we see, we have done a Ludina Fusion plugin for all this Node-RED stuff. And what we also did besides this is we have a Ludina Launchpad plugin that generally implements the whole work zone, but completely developed with a CAP backend. So the core runtime is part of UI5. So we have this layer like the work zone central entry point. Everybody is maybe using this with a sandbox, but in this case, we have a role-based portal application with notification services and all this stuff on top of it. But all the service endpoints are completely developed inside CAP. So we are quickly able to enrich all this stuff. We can share, like in our extension, we have the possibility to share one WebSocket to all applications and to all things. We bridge everything from WebSocket to UI5 using the event bus that even works with Fiori elements so far. And that was it at the end. So we have this nice layer that can then done all this communication. And you can decide if I want to do something in the Node-RED layer, if I need to do something in the CAP layer. It depends on you, but on the edge, you have this kind of bridge on asynchronized layer for all these three blocks, and even you can use the synchronized or the OData stuff and all this REST stuff, even from the Node-RED side. So if you say, okay, for example, in this case, I need some default data because here I have created a custom application to map my device, the scanner devices, to a user so far, and then you can say, okay, and let's go into the stuff. I need to load the devices. Then you use here this get request just locally to your OData service, reading all this kind of devices. And then you can just say, I need to cache this stuff. You can set it as a variable, as a device user map into your flow. And on another point, if you need something like this, just telling, okay, just need to get the cache device user map and can put it into the flow. And it's something like this, if you are familiar with this, in 10 minutes, you can create this kind of Zebra middleware to connect your scanner so far. And there are much more things that are possible with this kind of solution. And it shows how quickly and greatly this is possible to implement such things with the Calesi or the plugin pattern itself, so that you can easily enrich the existing CAP functionality, especially if you have such solutions that are node-based, so that you add these features to your app so far. And I know that's in 10 minutes so far, the quick view of what's possible. So we have 20 minutes. I think we have then 5 more minutes for questions, if there are any.
Thank you very much. Let's have some questions. Or everyone is ready to get downstairs for food.
Hungry and thirsty.
Oh, over here.
Actually, it's pretty cool. Is some of this open source, like public available somewhere?
Yeah, but even last year we started to think about even the Launchpad stuff. But then was struggling a little bit with the FLP team from SAP itself. I thought this would be something, would be great for everybody. So if you have a full-blown work zone running locally, can use it for customers and us in the BTP without any BTP dependencies, just plain CAP. But I think there's multiple potential reasons maybe to do this or do this not. But afterwards, also we will give it a retry maybe that something of this will come to CAP natively, but does not depend on us. Or in this case, it's a little bit problematic. So to tell someone at SAP, maybe you can share your work zone and everybody can use it without additional costs because they want to make money with the work zone and that thing. Or on the other side, you have this ABAP Launchpad so far, but there are a lot of possibilities like being multi-tenant aware using this work zone, that using this kind of launchpad that is currently not possible with the work zone so far. But that needs to be the decision needs to be done on another level. But anyhow, even this Node-RED stuff, we have the thing. It just was starting with a prototype. We are also handling this with customers. As this morning, as we get to know, maybe how does it handle completely with the license stuff, not to be allowed running CAP locally in this scenario. Because, okay, on the other side, I can also implement this relevant stuff to connecting the post webhook to SAP with Node-RED itself. But we have Hamela with Node. That was also the idea. Just use CAP for the stuff for the operational technology, for the business technology layer, and UI, because we all not just adding this operational technology stuff for these things, and would be said if you are not allowed to use CAP running locally for edge scenarios in this case, then it would be possible to say, okay, we skip CAP, but we do everything with your own Node packages and using Node-RED. UI5 is no problem because we are connecting to S/4HANA public cloud. We have a cloud solution. We can use UI5, or SAP UI5 in this case. But at the moment, I think the problematic stuff would be maybe the license stuff for CAP. But maybe Daniel can tell something about this. So that would be quite nice, so that even CAP can go local, on-premise, offline, and all this stuff. So the whole platform is completely running offline aware. So we have also the UI5 stuff downloaded with Peter Musik's plugin. So we can handle everything now with CAP 9. We are able to resilient, do things if we are offline, and then we have online again. We can post this stuff to the S4 systems for the relevant services. So that makes it quite comfortable using such platform for all upcoming needs, especially in this operation technology area where these solutions need to be deployed on premise, on client side, mostly for security, latency reasons, and all this stuff. Most of the great larger OT layers are running on premise and on the edge solutions, and just connecting them via CAP as a destination to S/4HANA or whatever.
Any other questions?
Yeah, maybe from me then. First of all, I will definitely try to address the license question because I want that to be possible, as you just said. I think so. Yeah. And then a question to you, Holger. So did I understand it right? In that example, both the Node-RED server as well as the CAP server ran in the same process. You bootstrapped it from the same, but still they communicate via HTTP and WebSockets.
Yeah, by HTTP for the synchronized stuff, we were using some kind of webhooks, and asynchronized using MQTT.
MQTT.
And then there's a MQTT. As part of the plugin, I created this MQTT bridge so that it uses this, all of course, use Aegis or whatever, and then it bridges this to CAP events and vice versa, the same way around, so that you just can annotate your custom events in the CDS view, in the CDS file, and then just implement this stuff so that you do not have to take care what's going under the hood. So just using CAP the way you are using it regularly, and the plugin itself will do everything for you.
And these, let's call them microflows of Node-RED, they are triggered directly from UI events or from a CAP event as well?
You can make it anything you want. So if I have this case, you can have, okay, my in is a TCP server or whatever. My out will be the WebSocket. You can also use WebSocket as in, because on this side you have all the possibilities on the left side. You can use for HTTP, TCP, all this stuff. You have parlors for everything, quite nice. You can read files, write files, have watchers on directories to react on changes, and then you can add thousands of additional things like sending emails. So everything is pre-configured this way. And if you want to use it, then you will just on the right side, the thing will just open the corresponding node. And here it's part of the open publication. So if you can create your own nodes, and then you define the relevant fields that should be entered for the user, and then the plugin itself just putting this into defined JSON format as part of the flow. And if you need some additional functionality, you can create your own node modules so that you can add it to the system following the API of Node-RED. And that's why we have 1,000, 6,000, 7,000 stuff out of the box And if you need to connect to Siemens, so PLC stuff, whatever, you just need to install the package, will get your node, and then can use it this way. And the nice stuff is if you have a look into AI, AI even knows a lot of this stuff. So if you have a customer request, just asking ChatGPT, I need to integrate this kind of Signode package manager or whatever, then it tells, yeah, there's something for Node-RED. You have to install this package. Should I create an example flow for you? And then, okay, it sounds good. So do it for me. And then you can just import it because it's plain text. You just copy the JSON file directly from, and then if you're finished with this, you will here see a change. You click on deploy. The system automatically deploys this to the Node-RED runtime engine and restarts, and then automatically the relevant services are available for you without any coding in this case.
Okay, so I really like this Node-RED thing. So looking for these kind of very purposed microflow modeling things. Last question to the audience. Do you know Node-RED, or who knows Node-RED? Knew it before? Ooh, quite some. Okay, so we should have a look at it. Thanks a lot.
Okay, let's have a round of applause. And with that, we would like to see everyone downstairs for the closing right after this. Thank you all so much.